Is anybody here?
So far, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I have Mike Delger and Daryl Folkford. And I know we're early, but I started streaming, so.
Yeah, that's all right. Go ahead.
Still got 3 minutes.
Well, thank you guys for doing this. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. We were half of the staff at the courthouse, so.
Yeah, I imagine after you guys left, that probably was emptied it out, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if there was anybody on the.
Michelle.
I know Doug was in there, I guess. Oh, yeah. And I want to say those election judge volunteers have been great. They have done so good and have been so helpful. It's been really, really nice having them there.
Well, awesome. That's good to hear, and I know it's been difficult for everybody, but we're grateful for their help.
Absolutely.
This is Laura.
Hey, Laura, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
All right, I see it's 2 o'clock. Has everybody joined us that's going to join us, you think?
I believe so. I have all
Okay.
three commissioners on. And you have no agenda items that require staff, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. All right, I guess we'll get started. We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order Wednesday, October 22nd. We'll go ahead and I guess we'll open the meeting for public comment, if there is any.
I have nothing.
And you are live, right, Nicole?
We are live, yes, sir.
Okay.
And I have nothing.
Okay. All right, good enough. I guess one of the main reasons for calling this meeting is we're required by statute 752122, the Board of Commissioners, if in an event that we had made a decision outside of the public forum, that we needed to recognize that and ratify any decisions that were made during those meetings. So on Monday, October 19th, we had a emergency conference call with the commissioners and all of our elected officials and department heads to discuss the emergency situation that was presented to us in our clerk and recorder treasurer's office. And so the decision we made at that time, after our discussion, was to lock the courthouse, send our employees home in the clerk and recorder's office until we had received negative or just received the results from their COVID testing. and we have since received those results. And I know it's been difficult, but a plan was made to allow the clerk and recorder, treasurer's employees, the ones that could, to still come back to work and carry on their duties the best that they can. So I guess that's where we're at.
Can I interject something? I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear me, Commissioner Fulford.
Yes, go ahead.
I just received a text from Attorney Swanson asking if Mr. Ravendall can enter the room to report if he wears a mask.
Hey, I just dialed in.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tim called me. He's outside the room there, outside the annex building. Said he had some questions. He wanted to ask the commission, ask if he could come in. I told him I didn't know how many people were in the room, but he would have to wear a mask to come in for sure, and I would find out.
All right. Is it, I guess I'll be honest, the question is, Corey, is there going to be any type of ramifications if we don't let him in? I mean, he's just there to report. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's there to report, and he had a few questions he was going to ask, and is he wants to ask about how we're going to conduct the election, I guess. And so, or I don't know what it is, but I just told him, I said, look, we're not going to put up with any monkey business on the mask. If you come in, you're wearing a mask. So, and I can hang up and call him back, but that's why I was late getting on the call.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, commissioners, what's your thoughts? Go ahead, Laura.
I'm going to stand on equity. So if we open the doors for one, we open the doors for all, because all 6,000 citizens are as valued and important as all other 6,000 citizens that we have in this county. We have a means for public comment. We have a means for questions. We've opened up the meeting as best we can. In part, this was due to threats that we have been advised have been all over Facebook. I think that the best we can do is to try and keep our people safe. And if there isn't somebody there that is of authority or can maintain safety, I think we stand on the agreement we made, and that is we treat everyone equitably. You open the doors for all, or you open the doors for none, but still provide the open forum that we have.
Yeah. Would you guys be okay with texting Tim this number and allow him to conference in and ask his questions?
I would be okay. He can either do that or he can go online and ask them.
Yeah.
I think online would be a great idea. He certainly has the technical ability.
Sure.
And with the conference call, I just want to remind you, if you open this conference call up to the public, we'll have to change this conference call line that we've been using for staff meetings to a different number, which may or may not matter to you. I just want you to
I realize that.
remember that. Okay.
I would think let him go online.
Okay.
I agree with Mike.
All right.
So how is that? How are we going to do that then? How does he go online?
He should be able to just get on his phone, go on the internet, go to the YouTube site like everybody else is watching it, and he can come into the website that way with public comment.
Corey, I am going to share with you the link so you can simply text it to him. I will make this as easy as possible.
Well, I have the link. I'm watching
Okay.
you. I don't know how to comment. Of course, I've never done this before, so maybe
Okay, I texted you the link, but even though you haven't.
Is it down at the bottom?
Yes.
Is there 0 comments right now?
Currently, there are 0 comments. Here, I'm going to type, and I typed in test, so you should see that populate in the comments section. Okay, Vicki Rouser is online as well. She said there is one now. So there were 0 comments, which is why it wasn't showing.
All right. I guess I'm having a hard time. I'm just advising you. I don't understand why you wouldn't allow them in. It's not like you have 6,000 people standing there at the door. I don't know what threats it is that you're referring to. I'm certainly not aware of any threats. And you know, what I'm looking at is 4 people in the room. If that's accurate, you've got plenty of room for a 5th person to come in, particularly if they're saying they have specific questions they want to ask the commission.
Who all's in the room?
Nicole Brown and Helen Coleman.
Okay.
Am I looking at an old video? I see Sean,
That's old.
and then I see another woman, but
Yep,
that's an old video?
Yep, I just texted you the live link.
Okay, so there's 2 people in there.
And that's why you weren't seeing the chat.
This is Mike. I guess, you know, as long as Corey is on an outside line, he can see what's going on in there. I guess if Tim has some questions that he wants to ask that would clarify how we're doing elections to people, I don't know who it would get out to, but I think it would be beneficial to our people, you know, as long as there's no shenanigans going on.
And the thing is shenanigans can take seconds. If somebody wants to be in the room as a security force, then I would agree with that. I think we can do more to educate the public on what's really going on with elections by bringing Doug in to talk to people directly. He is an elected official. He is staff. He could easily get on this call immediately and give a full rundown of what we're doing for elections. And then Tim can go ahead and address us like everyone else. The thing is we advertised a certain structure for this meeting. Those who chose to honor what we put out there for the safety of their neighbors, friends, family, and our staff are not hammering at the door to come in. If it is known that regardless of what we put out to the public, as long as you call the right person after the meeting is started or right before, they'll let you in because, you know, we treat some people differently than others. I'm not comfortable with that at all. We set a policy. We agreed on it. We have an opportunity for public comment. So I'm happy to get Doug on the phone, though. Maybe that's a really good idea right now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get Doug on the phone.
All right. So you want me to tell Tim just to jump on YouTube then? There's 11 people watching right now, what I see. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'll call him back.
That's wonderful. I wish we had more.
I'll jump on after a while. I'm going to hang up now.
Thanks,
Thank
Corey.
you, Corey.
In the meantime, can we go ahead and vote to approve what the measures we discussed on Monday while we wait for Doug to give us an update?
Yes, let's go ahead and do that.
I
I'll
would
make
move
the-
to approve. Go ahead, Mike.
I'll make the motion to approve affirm the decisions that we made in Monday's conference call.
I'll second the
I will
motion.
second that. Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the actions that we took on Monday during the conference call. Is there any public discussion?
Daryl, as chairman, would you go over what those are for anybody who hasn't seen the news or the emails or the website, so that anybody who's listening can hear what those are?
Yes, I will do that. I actually have the minutes here. I'll just go ahead and read them. So it was October 19th, 2020 at 10 a.m. via phone conference. Present were Commissioners Folkford, Commissioner Delger, and Commissioner Obert. Michelle Beebe, Debbie Kelly, Doug Ellis, Nicole Brown, Mike Myers, Sean Rowland, Teresa Monson, Brooke Dolan, Sherry Little, Kirk Flynn, Corey Swanson, Win Meehan, and Dal Hornsfeld. Clerk and Recorder, Treasurer's Office, Doug staff is in quarantine due to a positive COVID case with symptoms. Results are pending. Doug will contact election judges to be stationed in courthouse at the end of hall to take election ballots. Doug will work with Mike Meyer to set up work in basement and use vault to access Clerk and Recorder Treasurer Office. The basement restrooms will be designated for their use only. The other county staff, Josh Obert, Brittany Wills, and Jessica Bushnell will be instructed to work outside of the courthouse offices for the time being. Anyone can get trained to take the oath of office to be an election judge. Judge will advise us if this is needed. A public message campaign will inform the public of the courthouse outbreak and the county's measures to address getting county business done while keeping staff and the public safe. Automated phone message sent via BCDC and county email messages and county website, townsendmt.com. Courthouse will be locked immediately. Signage with email, phone contacts is already posted. Contract tracing is a long process and is overwhelming the public health office. They are working with the state to get assistance. We have hired 2 more nurses and are already working closely with Billings Clinic. All the courthouse must resume wearing masks. Commissioners will be advised if anyone who is not, they will take immediate action to remind folks of the requirement. Commission meetings will resume being closed using the spring 2020 agreed upon standards, and they will be resurrected and updated. Mass and social distancing shall be required. 2 emergency meetings will be held to inform the public. One was this afternoon, and within 48 hours, posting per MCA requirements to reaffirm today's decision, and that's what we're doing presently. Officers should consider staggering schedules to maintain social distancing in courthouse offices. Teresa will investigate expediting testing for law enforcement personnel and delays in testing at Billings Clinic. She has hired 2 more people, is getting help from the state public health nurse. So those were the minutes from that meeting.
Thanks, Joe.
Any
Can I just
comment?
add to that? I think it's important to recognize that we did get together because of the emergency with the Clerk and Recorder's Office, specifically with the election coming up. But this really has hit 4 offices really hard. And I want to make sure that we don't just aim the spotlight on Clerk and Recorder Treasurer, but realize, again, it's 4 offices that have been hit hard. And this is an opportunity, I think, for all our department heads, and I'm really glad they were all able to make the phone call on Monday. Each office should have a plan, a contingency plan. It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be really detailed, but there should be a what if. And to be able to implement that immediately should something happen. And I think most of our departments have that. But that's all I wanted to say is I think we can look at this as an opportunity at this point.
Yes, thank you, Laura, for that. And you're right. And we did work on a great contingency plan. I mean, we have most all of our employees that have the ability now to work from home. to telecommunicate, because we anticipated this problem. The only office that we could not do that with was going to be the clerk and recorder's and treasurer's office because of the requirement to have their computers hooked up with the state of Montana. Unfortunately, it happened to be that specific office that was hit the hardest. So it's not that we didn't think about it or try to make those contingency plans. Just the worst case scenario happened, and we are trying to manage it the best that we can.
And I'm pretty proud of how everybody rallied on Monday. It really showed a strength of the county and on people.
Yeah, everybody has done extremely well, and Nicole mentioned before the meeting started how well and dedicated the election judges have been in taking care of getting ballots in the foyer and things like that. So thank you so much to those folks and their hard work in this difficult time. So I guess getting back to the vote, is there any more discussion?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, this is Corey. I dialed
yes.
on and missed the majority of that. But I guess I did want to clarify for everyone that I was the only one in my office that was close contact and quarantine. Brooke is working from home just as a protective measure because she's got cross country coming up. But I was the only one that had that concern. We basically implemented what we had planned to implement, which this is the third time, or I guess the second time we've done it this year, which is with this software that we have. I can access all my criminal stuff, all my cases, work on cases from home. I did one and then went in early in the morning. This morning it dropped off papers. We're short on some technology we need for this to work fully, and that's basically a remote scanner. We are planning on applying through the COVID grant for some equipment that would allow us to be basically fully operational remotely. We're not currently. And that's basically the only big glitch we had. But since we only have 3 people in the office, it's kind of left Sherry to have to man the phones and everything by herself. And so, we do what we can. So we don't have a second string to cover for us. So, but I did want to say that, our ability to operate is we're pretty much there to be able to operate fully. I know some of the other offices, I think it's very hard for the sheriff's office to operate on a quarantine basis because that job requires contact with people even more than mine does. But
Yep.
We're doing the best we can.
Okay, great. Thanks for that update, Corey. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of ratifying the decisions that were made on Monday conference call signify by saying aye.
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 All right, motion carries. Thanks, you guys.
And sorry to interrupt again. Could I?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just want to cover one thing for the public's benefit on this. So the decision that was the closure of the decision, or the courthouse closure decision Monday was clearly an emergency decision. And in the conference call where this was discussed, because of the nature of what we were dealing with, there was some discussion of private medical information. People's privacy interests were somewhat implicated. I know I shared personal health information on that call about myself. So I just want the public to know that I feel that both because of the emergency nature of it as well as some what I felt was necessary sharing of medical information with the commissioners for them to make that decision, I certainly feel comfortable from the legal point of view to have that as a conference call that was emergency and not open to the public. And I did recommend that you have this second meeting to discuss, number one, the reasons why you're doing it, what the plan is, and to ratify it. But just wanted to let the public know that that's what happened, and we certainly would not have been able to share some of the medical information that was necessary for the commissioner's decision and do that in an open meeting.
All right, great. Thank you, Corey. Okay, so I guess next is just basically an open discussion on our courthouse operations with limited staffing and how we think that our elections are going to proceed. Has Doug been able to join us?
I texted him the link, but I have not heard him respond, and I have not heard him call in. Do you want me to step out and actually call his office?
I mean, yeah, if we could get him to call in on this conference number, that would be the best.
All right, give me a minute.
As we're waiting for Doug, Daryl, and Mike, you know, it might be a good idea to maybe have Doug as a standing topic on our agendas for the next couple of weeks until the election, and just maybe after public comment or at the end of the meeting, just again repeat over and over again everything he's doing to make sure that the elections are run, you know, clean and clear, as they always are, just to make sure that any doubts that anybody might have are alleviated before they have a chance to get to grow.
Sure, we can do that.
And then after that call number, there's also an access code. So you just call that number, and then it'll ask you for the access code. Thank you. All right, bye-bye. All right, I finally found him. He's calling in now.
Very good. Thank you so much, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Nicole.
Hey, no problem. I have a public comment, if you want it now, or do you want to wait?
Yes, go ahead. We'll
Okay,
see if we can answer it.
sure. This is from Bobby, the Broadwater reporter. This is public comment to the commission. She says, I appreciate the open communication the commission has with Broadwater reporter the past few days. Our community appreciates the information available on reporter's page.
All right, you're welcome, Bobby, and thank you for helping us to get the word out to our citizens. Doug, are you on the call?
I am. Yep.
All right, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry that was kind of a last-minute thing, but we realized that it would probably be important for you to be here to answer a lot of these questions rather than us.
Okay.
So I think the question is that everyone is asking is how elections are proceeding and maybe plans to continue to ensure that the elections are done safely and securely.
Well, right now we're up to our neck in absentee ballots and spoiled ballots. We've had more spoiled ballots this year than ever before. I think everybody forgot how to vote. But we are doing the absentees right now and sending them out. People can get them by coming into the back door of the courthouse and filling out an absentee application if they haven't. Other than that, the polls will be open on November 3rd. At the community room at the school unless it's closed down, and then it will go to the 4-H building at the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Really nothing different with this election than any other election other than COVID going on, and we're short-staffed. That's why we only have one polling place instead of 5. But
Sure.
I don't see any difference in the security of the elections. We're still checking all the signatures and receiving in all the ballots, and everything's being done as it always has.
Okay. How about currently, right now? How are ballots being received in the courthouse for those wanting to drop them off?
We have 2 election judges at the back of the courthouse that are with an election box that are allowing people to drop their ballots in that election box. At night they bring those ballots down to the clerk and recorder's office, and we enter them into Montana votes and receive them just like we always have. We're a little behind because we were out of the office for a couple of days, but we'll probably work a couple nights and catch up, and don't see any real difference other than instead of walking down to the clerk and recorder's office, they just walk in the back door and drop them in the election box.
All right. Very good. How about other parts of your operation right now? Are you still? I'm guessing that licensing and things like that are probably taking a little bit of a back burner. Is that correct?
They are. Yep. We had a message put on our phone that licensing will be done by mail only until October 29th, which is when I think our quarantine will be over. We're not taking the calls by phone for motor vehicle. We're busy enough with elections that I don't think we could get both of them done, since we only have 3 people right now today in a 6-person office. So,
Right.
yeah, we're just handling the elections first because that's the most important right now.
All right. Well, we appreciate that. I know this is difficult for you and your staff, We appreciate that everything that you're doing, and I hope that our citizens realize that this is a challenging time, and they would be considerate to the circumstance.
Yeah, most of them are. It's gone fairly well. We're, just like I said, we're getting a lot of spoiled ballots, people marking them wrong for some reason this year. I don't know what the difference is, but for every ballot we issue a replacement for a ballot that was marked wrong. I just not sure what's going on, but we'll get through it.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
How about your volunteers? How are they holding up?
They're holding up. They're doing a good job. We've got them filled up for this week, and we'll be making phone calls to make sure we have 2, possibly 3 down there next week, just so we have one running ballots and the other 2 can man the ballot box.
Okay. Do you think that do you anticipate that you're going to need some more volunteers?
It's possible. I think with the ballots here in the courthouse, I think we can catch up to those all okay. It will take a day or 2, but we'll get caught up on those. As far as the volunteers that are receiving the ballots, if we can get 2 or 3 a day to do that, we'll be fine. And so far, we've got a lot of good election judges, and they're pretty willing to help out, so I don't see that being a problem either.
Okay. If someone was willing to volunteer, do they need some special training?
They do. We have to have a 2-hour training. There's one available through the Secretary of State's office. There's also one on YouTube through Missoula County has a good election training.
Okay.
But yeah, they have to have 2 hours of training, and then we can swear them in as an election judge, and they can do whatever we need them to.
All right. Good. Well, I guess maybe that's hopefully for anyone that's listening, if you or anyone else is interested in volunteering or helping in this effort, I guess that option is available to you. So.
Right. We've had 3 or 4 emails from people that expressed a desire to volunteer. I'd like to get another 3 or 4, so we'd have 8 or 10 for a class. Then that might actually allow us to keep all the polls open, but we'll see.
Okay. So if someone was interested, if they were to email you at your email address, that would be the best way to contact you?
Yep, that would be a good way to do it. They could also call my personal line. I know our main number is tied up with a message right now, but if they call my personal line at 266-9218, I can take their name and number, and we can sign them up for a class.
All right, wonderful. Are there any other questions? Anybody?
This is Corey. Doug, maybe just talk through the in-person voting. I understand you're going to have one spot, and are you going to be asking people to wear a mask when they come in to vote and cleaning in between voters? And I think some people have asked me, if someone doesn't want to wear a mask, is there an outdoor voting thing? Maybe just talk through that.
Right. Yeah, they will be required to wear a mask. I noticed on the Broadwater Reporter page today we're up to 23 cases in Broadwater, so anything over 4 masks are required. If someone does come into the polling place and cannot wear a mask, we will set a voting booth up outside so they can still vote in person, and then we'll have to escort them in the back door so they can put their ballot in the ballot box. But yeah, masks will be required for the judges and the voters as well. And yeah, we are planning on having extra help there to clean the voting booths and the pens and the machines and everything that the voters are in contact with and the judges are in contact with.
And then maybe can you talk about if there's same-day voter registration, does that still have to happen at the courthouse?
It does. Yeah, the polling place at the school isn't set up to register voters, so they will have to come to the courthouse. Hopefully by then the quarantine will be over. They can walk right into the clerk and recorder's room and we'll register them to vote, give them a ballot. They can vote it here and we'll put it in a voting machine.
And then will you have set up for, I know sometimes there's observers from different parties or campaigns, and I think they do that both at the polling place and then also at the counting
Right.
that night. Can you maybe talk through that?
Right. We've already gotten a call that they are planning on sending an observer, and we will just have a designated spot for them to sit where they can observe what's going on without any interference. And at the courthouse, it might be a little tough to get to see how many people want to come in and observe. We have a limited space here, so if it gets to where there's too many people, I guess we will have to deal with that at the time and maybe narrow it down to where there's one from each party or whatever we have to do.
Thanks. I have no more questions, Gerald. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Cory. Laura, Mike, anybody?
I don't have anything.
No, I've been impressed with Doug and his volunteers and his staff's professionalism. They've run a top-notch election process for many, many years, and it looks like they're just well-oiled professionals.
Well, thank you.
Yep, I agree. Thank you, Doug, for joining us and answering questions. We may have more in the coming weeks, and we'll call on you if that's all right.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you guys
All right.
for all you're doing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, you bet.
Thanks, Doug.
You bet.
All right, is there anything else? Anybody?
I don't have anything.
Me neither.
Okay. Cory, you good?
I'm good. Are you setting a commission meeting next week, or are you going to wait and see what happens?
No, we've agended a meeting for next week. It's 3 short items, and we'll conduct it the same way that we are right now, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I guess we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for taking time and participating in this meeting. And for all those listening, we're sorry for the inconvenience, but I think this is the best we could do at this point. So thank you.
Daryl, running a meeting over the phone is not easy. I think you've done a superb job. Nicely done.
Thank you very much. Nicole and Helen, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm watching you guys work away in there, and done a marvelous job setting this up for us.
Okay. Commissioners, I just want you to know that Vicki Browser says thank you.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thanks, Vicki.
Oh, all right.
All right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Daryl.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.